South Louisiana, rebuilding from Hurricane Ida. You, the insurance commissioner, and State Farm seem to be at loggerheads over a couple of issues. What are those?
Well, the issue, frankly, is the mixed bag we had of evacuation orders and some no order issued at all of which is focused on by the parish officials that made those decisions, the safety of their constituents, because this was such a late growing and ominous threat. For example, my 3 granddaughters had school in their school in New Orleans until 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. But my wife, when I got home from work at 9 o'clock, said, "We're leaving. We're getting out of here." And sure enough, at 10:30, we were on the road and in Gulf Shores at 1:30 Saturday morning. The point being, there was not enough time to set up, for example, contraflow that did not work in '04 for Hurricane Ivan. It gridlocked, and then did work like designed and like hoped to get 1 million folks out of harm's way in '05 for Katrina, when they tweaked contraflow and turned every interstate north, west, or east to get all of that 1 million plus folks out of harm's way that wanted to get out of the hurricane threat. They couldn't do it, didn't have enough time. So what I have said is the mixed bag of some mandatory, some voluntary, some no issue at all decisions by public officials was tantamount to a mandatory evacuation. Treat it as such, and then impose your coverage, whatever it is, on the claim submitted for reimbursement of those expenses.
So what is State Farm doing or not doing where you had to get involved?
First off, Allstate sent me an email 2-3 days before the president came to Laplace to view the devastation there, and asked me to issue a request of the industry that they waive the evacuation order provision in almost all policies. They said, "We're going to do it. We'd ask you to ask the industry at large to do it." The president then came and made that request himself on the ground in St. John Parish. So I issued a bulletin requesting the industry to do so on Friday afternoon. On Saturday morning, State Farm contacted me and said, "Can we have a conference call on Monday morning?" And I said, "Sure." I was actually staying at my daughter's house. She had a generator and took the call in my son-in-law's office. And to my shock and amusement, I had been told by 2 very creditable sources, State Farm's going to go along, like Allstate, like USAA, and others. And to my shock, I was told we're not. We're going to enforce the requirements of our policy.
And let me be clear. If it's a mandatory evacuation order, State Farm pays. If it's not a mandatory order, they can say we don't have to pay for your living, your housing costs, because you weren't really forced to leave your home. Is that the brunt of this issue?
That's pretty close to exactly correct, Aaron. One difference being, their language in their policy does not say mandatory. It says an evacuation order. And the 3 complaints that we've received so far that State Farm has answered are out of Jefferson Parish. And in Jefferson Parish, the parish president, because of that safety issue, said it's a voluntary evacuation that I am ordering. Again, for fear of gridlock and killing people.
Now, you were urging the insurance companies to voluntarily waive the provision. Then you changed it to a mandate, and now I'm told State Farm is going to challenge you in court. Is that where we are now?
They have answered and refused to comply with my order. They've answered the first formal complaint that we sent to them, and their State Farm Company and their surplus line subsidiary both took the same position, saying that they were not going to comply, did not think my order was lawful, and so were not going to accommodate what I had ordered them to do.
Mr. Jim, how often does this happen? How often historically does the insurance commissioner, or in this case, Jim Donelon, insurance commissioner, make a mandate and then it ends up in court? And then I guess part B is all those people down there that are their customers who are waiting, who are out thousands of bucks, I would guess. They're just out on the ledge by themselves, aren't they?
No question about it. And as to your first question, how often? One time. 16 years, first time.
Obviously, you want this on the legal fast track. Is it unfair of me to say that maybe the insurance companies don't want it on the legal fast track, and that seems to be a battle unto itself? Who's going to win that one?
Well, I don't think the fast track, other than the poor people who need the money, makes a difference, because if I prevail, they will be ordered under my powers to enforce my regulatory action to retroactively go back and readjust these claims. Let me add this, Bob. Most of these claims will result in no payment because State Farm has, for most of their policies, a 5% named storm deductible. That's a $10,000 deductible. These expenses are typically $2,000. So unless they are dealing with a policyholder that got a lot of damage, more than $8,000 on average, they're not going to pay anything. It's going to be covered by their named storm or hurricane deductible. I forget which they call it.